Ooh, hi. So, there we go. Hi, and welcome to Wednesday. We have made it this far. The last couple of shows have been kind of rough. They felt like I wasn't really, solidly in my thing here. And I've been trying to figure out why that is. But what has been missing? I mean, granted, we've got a new location. So we got a new spot, and the feel of the room is different, and the dynamics are different. The room is smaller, and I've got more cats around here. I've actually got both cats here, I believe. Yep, they're there. I gave it some thought, and looked it over, and I looked inside myself. I think I came up with the answer. I don't think I've been wearing enough silly hats. I really think that's probably the issue. Now, I gotta say, there is a disadvantage to this hat, which is that when I have it on, you can't see a dang thing behind me. So
you can still see Delilah.
You can still see Delilah, but apparently that's about it. So today, we are gonna try a bunch of songs that I know that we all like. And I am going to do them on the Purdy. So the built-in tuner, which is very convenient. And we are going to see what we can do with the world today. And we're going to start with, this is actually almost entirely all songs that I've written. One cover on this one, and we're going to be debuting Brett's song suggestion from a poll I did way back. Give me a title and I'll write a song. Of Grandpa's Can of War Ration Spam. That'll be song 3. Looking at the notes, that'll be song 3. But we're going to start with one of the more recent songs that I wrote, which I still really enjoy. I'm going to try it out as an opener. It's not quite a closer. It does definitely work in kind of the middle, but I'm going to try in various places just to see where it goes. It is, in fact, a song about a man who came from humble origins and stayed there. It says here, play with unnecessary grandeur. He came from a tiny village just outside of Aberdeen, and his face, it was not noble, and his clothes, they were not clean, but there's often been a hero that has come from such a start. Our man Festus wasn't one of them. He was neither brave nor smart. There are heroes, myths, and legends that are known throughout the land, but the dreaded peasant Festus was not that man. There are some men bound for glory, bound for riches or for fame, Festus's name. For his voice it was not noble, nor his bearing very fine, and he towered over no one at the height of 4'9". There are heroes, myths, and legends that are known throughout the land, but the dreaded Peasant Festus was not that man, but from lowly circumstances some men rise among the rest. Not that Festus ever tried hard, well, that there is just my own guess. But in noble battle some men can achieve beyond compare, and on the battlefield of Hastings our man Festus was not there. There are heroes, myths, and legends that are known throughout the land, but the dreaded Peasant Festus was not that man. There are legendary figures doomed to fade away obscure, and our Peasant Festus suits that. At least we think we're pretty sure. There is not much known of Festus. Peasantry builds little pride. Matter of fact, all that we're sure of, well, we're all pretty sure he died. There are heroes, myths, and legends that are known throughout the land, but the dreaded Peasant Festus was not that man. All right, there we go. And I think it is the hat. I think it's the hat. I think it's a combination of things, but the hat is an incredible psychological crutch. Seriously, if you feel like you need the gumption to get up and do goofy, crazy things that people might think might be outside of your purview of expertise or outside of your comfort zone, I swear to God, get a big, funny hat with feathers on it, because I feel pretty darn good. Wow. Really do. I wasn't going to claim that it was the hat this early in the show, but it feels like it's the hat pretty much in the show right now. I'm really kind of startled. Frankly, I'm amazed. There goes a cat. From behind the cover of my big goofy hat. Yes. I'm going to check something random and weird. Watching now. See, it only thinks one person is watching this show, and I have a distinct feeling that there's more than one person watching this show.
Well, Ashley is watching and I'm watching. So that's good.
Yeah. And my little thingy says that there's at least 3 people watching, and as far as I'm concerned, if y'all are entertained by it while I'm doing this, or in the reruns, because I know that my reruns get a lot higher viewership than my live stuff, I'm okay with that. As I've said before, this is really me getting my time in, getting my chops up. And as I keep going back to it, I keep coming back to Purdy here. And Purdy, an 8-string ukulele, is a really wonderful instrument for making what you do sound better than it is. It has an advantage in that the two lowest the two strings on the top of it here, G, C, E, A, they're all G, C, E, A. But these two strings are actually tuned to an octave. That's a one octave right there. Then the C is also. Now E and A are the same, so that when you have it, it sounds like you're putting in a lot more effort than you should. And I think that's also a principle behind the mandolin, where the strings are all tuned in. They're actually tuned to each other, so that each pair is tuned to themselves. I have been asked if I was consider a mandolin, and I decided that I have already got this ukulele and the baritone ukulele, and 4 strings is about as good as I'm going to get. And technically this is 4 strings because they're paired together. And if I got a mandolin or a bouzouki or anything else like that, that's just one more bloody instrument I have to learn. I think I'm going to give this and go with it. Speaking of which, it is time for another song. And this is one I haven't done for a little while. I'm going to try and do a Buffett cover. And it was, in fact, the first Buffett cover that I ever did on this goofy little activity I call the Troubadork Show. It's so far back that I don't even actually have the notes for it. I don't have the chords for it, and I actually just know the chords. Mostly. Most of the time. We will see how we do today. With funny hat. Is it the hat? Maybe it's the hat. Maybe it's Maybelline. You never try to keep the wild ones home. Oh, that's so pretty. But, mister, don't just sit there and wait. Go out on the town, making all of the rounds. It won't matter if you're your own date. Oh, jeez. So pretty. Vacant, occupied. Sat on the beach until my body got fried. Dreaming of your pretty eyes up in South Carolina. I can't pronounce my R's and G's when I'm speaking Southernese. Honey, honey, come and do me again. I seen your fat cat style, 300 pounds, a jive-ass smile. Young girls giggling all the while. That's not my cup of chowder. Hi, Merlin. I go for candlelight, cold champagne nearly every night. Honey, do a little toast for me and you. Bridge. Honey, why couldn't you have taken that non-stop train? It worked. I'm hungry, and I really want to see you again. I know it's getting late. Waiter keeps staring at your empty plate. Waiter D keeps telling me, sir, she's just not coming. What the hell does Garcon know? We've been through all this before. Honey, come and do me again. Bridge. Honey, why couldn't you have taken that non-stop train? I'm hungry, and I really want to see you again. Vacant, occupied. Sat on the beach, yeah, my body got fried. Dreaming of your pretty eyes up in South Carolina. I can't pronounce my R's and G's till I'm speaking Southernese. Honey, come and do me again one more time. Well now, honey, come and do me again. Oh, well now, honey, RK Merlin, have you had a chance to crack open the Cupid yet? I sincerely hope that you get a lot of enjoyment out of that instrument, more than I did, because, well, you're an actual musician, and I'm a goofball in a funny hat. So, let's think about this for a little bit now. Now, this next song has been a long time coming. This next song is one that I asked for to have happen to me because I put out a post saying, hey, post a song title for a song you'd like me to write, and the songs that got the most reactions, smiles, laughs, thumbs ups, whatever, would be the ones I did. Now, to no one's surprise, goddammit, Laguerre was nominated and won by a landslide. I mean, it was in the double digits, which for my Facebook feed, a double digit in any kind of reaction is a big deal because I am well known but extremely obscure. So, the second song that got in is one that Jana Zepp, who plays Queen Margaret of Scotland and the Isles, gave me. And she phrased it in a way that I've been trying to get a handle on, and I've just about gotten it. So I am currently working on a song called God Help the Queen. And I'm getting some feedback from a bunch of folks who have played queens in various Renaissance and historically themed events, and we'll see how that goes. Now, however, the third song, and not necessarily by votes, I can't remember which one was number 2 and number 3, but the third song was proposed by my friend Brett Grimstad, for one of the first people I ever played Cards Against Humanity with, and also gave me this wonderful game where you were a bunch of goofball teenage sleuth types investigating a haunted mansion, and one of you turns into the monster, and then it's a race to see if they can escape or if you can destroy all the kids to kill them all. And he gave me a title, which I will bring up now, Grandpa's Can of War Ration Spam. Now, let's be honest about this. There's a lot to unpack in that sentence. There really is. I'm staring at it now, because I can't see it above me, but I can look at the screen over here, and I can see Grandpa's Can of War Ration Spam. And that just kind of sat around in my head for a while. And then I said, you know what this is? This is a music hall song, but not a Victorian music hall song. This is the kind of music hall song that you would hear in vaudeville houses in the United States. It's like post-World War I, before the Depression, and it would either be best to be accompanied by either a piano or a full orchestra. Now, I got an 8-string ukulele, and I'm going to try and do it justice here. So this goes to Brett, who will eventually see this. He's probably working right now and can't actually watch the video live, but he will see the replay, and consequently, he will be able to just kind of enjoy this. I did send him the lyrics ahead of time, and he said he loved the lyrics, so I can only hope that the actual music will be acceptable. You may notice that there's a certain number of chords that I use in this song that are very common, and that's because there's only so many chords on a ukulele. And in this case, I started with the lyrics and I came up with the music afterwards, so it's basically where my brain went. I'm going to try to remember here. Okay, that's what it is. Sometimes I have a problem where I start a song and I can't remember how you're actually supposed to sing it until I'm halfway through the song. I'm trying really hard to avoid that this time. When Grandpa died, there's just one thing he set aside to give to me, his daughter's favorite daughter's boy. That was, and inside that box, wrapped securely in old socks, we found the can of Spam that was his pride and joy. Old Grandpa's can of War Ration Spam kept my grandpa going through the war. And if hunger overtook, then he'd give that can a look to remind him of what he was fighting for. What Grandpa bequeathed was some kind of mystery meat. The secret to those contents never did me in. I swore I would not break, or get so desperate I'd partake of that there freaky food that's stuffed inside that tin. Oh, Grandpa's can of War Ration Spam kept my grandpa going through the war. And if hunger overtook, he'd just give that can a look to remind him of what he was fighting for. Sometimes things got rough, I tell you, times were pretty tough, the kind of troubles that would kill a lesser man. But like my grandpa of war ration spam kept my grandpa going through the war. And if hunger overtook, he'd just give that can a look to remind him of what he was fighting for. Now, fellas, we're not sure what kind of food that can procures. It could be pork or chicken, beef, or even cod. And underneath that tin, no one knows what's trapped within, and we're afraid that we might free an elder god. Oh, Grandpa's can of war ration spam kept my grandpa going through the war. And if hunger overtook, he'd just give that can a look to remind him of what he was fighting for. Grandpa's can of war ration spam kept my grandpa going through the war. And if hunger overtook, he'd just give that can a look to remind him of what he was fighting for. Yes, Ashley, this song will be an earworm, and it's been in my head for the better part of 2 weeks. So, I actually riffed the chorus to it in a parking lot of the Home Depot a week ago Friday. My life is weird. My life is so odd. Now, I think this has gone pretty well, and I can't say that it's entirely due to the hat, but it is due to the fact that I have a number of songs that I'm really enjoying, and I hope y'all are enjoying them. Not a lot of comments this time around, which is okay. I can kind of see there's numbers that say a certain number of people are actually watching this blasted show, and whether they're watching on YouTube or Facebook or Twitch, I don't know. It doesn't tell me that, and that's okay. I'm okay with that. I am a small niche market with a small niche audience, and you, my mighty core audience, help justify this, including the hat. The last song I'm going to do is one that I'm very fond of, and I'm realizing lately that I've been writing a lot of like horror and monster movie themed songs, but there's a big nerd factor in horror movies and monster movies, and a lot of people don't want to admit it. But let's be completely frank about this. If you were big into monster movies in the 70s, you were a nerd. If you were big into monster movies in the 80s, you were a nerd. 90s, nerd. 2000s, well, that's where it began to get kind of splattery and gross, and then, dude bros began to get into it. But aside from that, and this one was actually not written as a horror movie song. It was written as a furry song. Because the last paying gig I had was at Texas Furry Fiesta before the lockdown came. And it's like, I need to write another song that involves funny animals. Well, what can I write? And it's like, well, yeah. Okay, I think I can come up with something. It's not the size of your niche, thank you, Bill. It's how well you fill it. I can hear you saying that in your voice in my head, and that's your fault. Let's do this. And this is a good one, and I don't know that I've done I'm Dating a Werewolf using the 8-string uke or not, because this is one of my rocker songs, I don't get a lot of rocker songs, but this is one of them. But I think it's going to go over pretty well with this implementation. I hope so. My biggest goal is to try to get the rhythm and the words to actually match up and not trip over myself and collapse in a burning heap somewhere. Well, it finally happened to me. I found someone. Yeah, I didn't think it could come true. But I found me a life companion, so the same thing could happen to you. I mean, our life together is wonderful. Think we're gonna get serious soon. We really got a good thing going, but it gets real freaky when we hit a full moon. I'm dating a werewolf. Oh, yes, it's true. I'm dating a werewolf. I feel a woo-hoo-hoo. It's like I'm awake in a beautiful daydream, yo. They really have improved my days. I'm really started, they found me here. Guess we'll have to see how all this plays. They do all kind of cute things that I this relationship is gonna go far. I mean, I get all squishy when they stick their head out of the window when we're driving my car. I'm dating a werewolf. Oh, yes, it's true. I'm dating a werewolf. I feel a woo, 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 woo. Now, I ain't saying that things are perfect here. No, the challenges will always be there. But we work our way through our problems now, and it usually kind of all turns out fair. I know I don't like fighting my partner now, so I learned me this one little trick. If things get angry and we get into a fight, all I gotta do to win is throw a stick. I'm dating a werewolf. Oh, yes, it's true. I'm dating a werewolf. I feel a woo, woo, woo. Out with me. Woo, woo, woo. So now you know the whole damn crazy story here. How my life will just flip right upside down. And while it sounds like mine might not be clear, no, I gotta know I'm not wearing a frown. And now it really hit me the jackpot, y'all. That's the reason why I'm singing this song. And although we know it could take a lot of work, vanilla, a single little thing has gone wrong. Hold on. Oh, crikey. Hairball. I'm dating a werewolf. Oh, yes, it's true. I'm dating a werewolf. I feel a woo, 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 And so we come sliding in sideways, tripping over the front door and into the couch, tumbling backwards into the coffee table, somehow missing the vase full of orchids, ricocheting off of the TV console and landing flat on your back in the Barca lounge. You're already in its fully reclined position of another Troubadork Non-Commute show. I'm kind of proud of that one. I want to thank y'all for hanging out with me again. This is basically what I do when I am working from home, which I have been working from home off and on now, mostly here from home, since we had our shutdown in March. And we will continue to do this stuff Monday through Thursday around 4:30 to around 5 o'clock until such time as things get stable. This is basically a way for me to put in the flight hours so that I am good and ready to do this sort of thing in front of people who might actually go to an event and maybe want to actually see this. I know. A man can dream. We live in a capitalistic society, so I got a few plugs to go through real quick. Ow, my eye! Oh, there it is. First and foremost, of course, we've got a tip jar, which is paypal.com/theadequate. I want to thank Robert and Rick and Emily and Miranda for dropping a couple of bucks in there. If you are interested in supporting adequacy in our lifetime on a more long-term plan, you can hike over to patreon.com/theadequate. The idea behind this is that you say, I'm going to throw a buck or two at him every month. And you just set it up and it's like an automatic withdrawal. And any money that goes into this show through Patreon or PayPal goes right back into the show. I mean, that's why I have this camera that I have here. And this camera is on a boom that I have here. And I've got a stream deck that allows me to push buttons and change scenes. And I've got strings for the ukuleles and tuners and batteries for the tuners, which are constantly being devoured by the legendary fearsome tuner Cabra. Stuff like that. There's a program I actually got to pick the chords out of songs, which is why I have the chords so long may the burlap wave, because Epoxy Boggarts did not put that in their songbook, darn them. So patreon.com/theadequate, in exchange for which you get previews of songs, you get some backstage stuff, you get ebooks, and you get buttons and physical books. And at the $10 a month level, if you're that crazy or know someone who is that crazy or just has money and low standards, hit me up. I actually have a level there's something called You're So Darn Smart, You Write the Song, where you tell me to write a song about something and then I write it. And then I play it here. So that's all that. Patreon.com/theadequate. Oh, where am I? Yes, the archives are located. Whoa, I'm over here now. The archives are located over here at facebook.com/TobiasTheAdequate and twitch.tv/TobiasTheAdequate. The Facebook page is my Tobias the Adequate fan page, and all the shows that happen on Facebook go archived there immediately. Twitch keeps 2 weeks worth of shows, so you can backtrack and see some of the goofier stuff that I've done prior to this. And the YouTube one is under the Troubadork playlist, which is updated about once a week. But you can also catch them all on the live stream shows that are archived automatically at YouTube at youtube.com/MPLEGARE. And that is all of that. We have some sponsors. The $2, by the way, the $2 a month Patreon one is also known as the cheapest advertising budget ever. And we've got some sponsors down here, underneath, down here, this little crawl that goes by. And that's been running the entire time. So see, like I said, cheapest advertising budget ever. That's everything. I think the hat helped. I think the song choices helped. The hat definitely did help. I'm going to do more stuff tomorrow. We're going to do Eat Bertha's Muscles tomorrow because that's the thing we have to do. It's simple enough. If we don't, then, if we don't do Eat Bertha's Muscles on Thursday, it's not really a Thursday show. Thursday being my Friday, of course. Let's be completely frank about this. There are more things in heaven and earth than are dreamt of in your philosophy, Horatio. Seltzer. You're an old man when you come to appreciate a good seltzer. I think that's it for this time around. Thank y'all for hanging out with me. I appreciate it very much. Keep circulating the tapes. Tell your friends, your neighbors, your enemies about the show, because the more of you that watch this, the more justified I feel in doing it. And that's kind of a cool thing. Once again, y'all have been fantastic. I have been Tobias the Adequate, and I thank you for encouraging my behavior, and I will see